Can my daughters eat your leftovers? The words came out broken, barely a whisper, but they hit the diner like a gunshot. Every head turned, every fork stopped midair. Bertie Renault's hand trembled as she clutched her daughters closer, their hollow eyes staring at plates they couldn't have. The smell of bacon and coffee was torture. She'd failed them. Again. Before we dive into this story, please hit that subscribe button and stick with me until the very end. You won't believe where this goes. And drop a comment with your city so I can see how far this story travels. Trust me, you'll want to see how this unfolds. Bertie's knees felt like they might buckle. She'd been standing at the entrance of the Harper's Mill diner for 3 full minutes, trying to force her legs to move. Her daughters Emma and Sophie pressed against her sides like frightened birds. Emma was 7. Sophie was 4. Both were too thin. Both were too quiet. "Mama," Emma was whispered him. "Can we sit down?" Bertie swallowed hard. "Not yet, baby." The diner was warm. That alone was almost too much. They'd been walking in the December cold for 2 hours after the bus dropped them at the edge of town. Bertie had exactly $11.43 in her pocket. Not enough for 3 meals. Not enough for a motel. Not enough for anything that mattered. She scanned the room. A family of 4 sat in the corner booth, mom, dad, 2 kids who looked fed and happy. A businessman in a suit tapped his phone while his eggs went cold. 2 truck drivers laughed over coffee at the counter. And in the back near the jukebox, 3 men in leather jackets with Hell's Angels patches sat like they owned the place. Bertie's stomach turned. She wasn't proud of what she was about to do. "Stay close," she told the girls. She moved toward the family first. Her voice came out thin and shaky. "Excuse me, I'm so sorry to bother you. I was wondering, my daughters haven't eaten since yesterday morning. If you have anything you're not going to finish, maybe..." The mother's face pinched like she'd smelled something rotten. "We're eating our food." "I understand. I just thought we paid for our food," the father said, not even looking up. "You should do the same." Bertie felt Emma shrink behind her. "Of course, I'm sorry. Thank you anyway." She turned away before the tears could come. The businessman was next. He didn't even let her finish her sentence. "Not interested," he said, still scrolling his phone. "Please, they're just kids. There are shelters for that." He flagged down the waitress. "Check, please." Bertie's throat tightened. Sophie started to cry, soft little hiccups she tried to hide. Bertie crouched down, cupping her face. "Shh, baby, it's okay. We're okay." But they weren't okay. They hadn't been okay for months. Warren Sykes had made sure of that. The thought of him sent ice through her veins. She glanced toward the diner window, half expecting to see his truck pull up. He'd found them twice before. Once in Little Rock. Once in Memphis. Both times they'd barely escaped. He'd left a voicemail 3 days ago that still played on a loop in her head. "You think you can run, Bertie? You think I won't find you? You've got something that belongs to me. And when I get it back, you're done. You and those little brats." She shook the memory away. Focus. Food first. Safety second. The truck drivers were her last chance before the Hell's Angels. "Excuse me," she said, her voice cracking. I know how this sounds, but my daughters haven't eaten, and I just need..." "Lady, we work for our money," one of them said, not unkindly but firm. "You should too." "I do. I did. I just..." Her voice broke. "Please." The other driver shook his head. "Can't help you." Bertie stood there frozen. The diner felt too bright, too loud. The clatter of dishes, the hiss of the fryer, the Christmas song playing on the jukebox, it all pressed in on her. She looked down at Emma and Sophie. Their faces were pale. Their lips were chapped. Sophie's coat was too small, the sleeves barely reaching her wrists. Bertie had failed them. She turned toward the back of the diner. The Hell's Angels, 3 of them, big men with hard faces and boots that looked like they could crush bone. She'd spent her whole life being told to stay away from men like that, but desperate times made liars out of fear. She walked slowly, her heart hammering. Emma's hand gripped hers tighter. The men didn't look up at first. One was reading a newspaper. Another was carving into a stack of pancakes. The third, the one closest to her, had a shaved head and a scar running down his jaw. Bertie stopped at the edge of their table. Her voice came out as a whisper. "Can my daughters eat your leftovers?" The room seemed to stop. Even the jukebox went quiet between songs. The man with the scar looked up. His eyes were gray cold as January. Bertie wanted to run, but she held her ground. "Say that again," he said. Bertie's throat closed. She forced the words out. "My daughters, they're hungry. If you're done eating," she stopped. Her voice wouldn't work. The man stared at her, then at Emma, then at Sophie. His expression didn't change. "Sit down," he said. Bertie blinked. "What?" "Sit down." She hesitated, then slid into the booth, pulling the girls in beside her. The man pushed his plate toward them, half a burger, fries, untouched coleslaw. Emma looked at Bertie, eyes wide and questioning. "Go ahead, baby," Bertie whispered. Emma grabbed a fry like it might disappear. Sophie followed. They ate fast, too fast, barely chewing. Bertie's chest ached watching them. "When's the last time they ate?" the man asked. "Yesterday morning, a gas station. Crackers and a banana." He nodded slowly. Then he turned to the waitress. "3 more plates, burgers, fries, whatever they want, and chocolate milk." The waitress hesitated. "Ezra, you sure?" "Did I stutter, Linda?" Linda shook her head and hurried off. Ezra leaned back, arms crossed. He studied Bertie with an intensity that made her squirm. "What's your name?" he asked. "Bertie." "Bertie?" He said it like he was testing it. "And why are you begging for scraps in a diner on Christmas Eve, Iso?" Bertie looked down. "It's complicated. Try me." "I can't." "You can't or you won't." She met his eyes. "Both." Ezra didn't push. He just watched her. The other 2 men at the table had gone quiet. One of them, a younger guy with a patchy beard, leaned forward. "You running from someone?" he asked. Bertie's pulse spiked. "Why would you ask that?" "Because you keep looking at the door like someone's about to walk through it and gut you." She didn't answer. The food arrived, 3 plates piled high. Emma and Sophie dug in like they hadn't seen food in weeks, because they almost hadn't. "Thank you," Bertie said quietly. "You didn't have to do this." Ezra shrugged. "Yeah, I did." There was something in his voice, something heavy. Bertie wanted to ask, but she didn't. She watched her daughters eat and felt the knot in her chest loosen just a little. Then the diner door opened. Bertie's head snapped up. A man walked in, tall, broad-shouldered, wearing a brown jacket and a cold expression. Her blood turned to ice. It wasn't Warren, but it could have been. Ezra noticed. "You good?" "I'm fine," she lied. But her hands were shaking. Sophie noticed. She reached over and touched Bertie's wrist. "Mama." "I'm okay, sweet pea." Ezra leaned forward. "Who are you running from, Bertie?" She wanted to lie. She wanted to stand up and walk out and never look back. But the weight of months on the run, months of fear, months of barely surviving it all, came crashing down. "His name is Warren Sykes," she said. "And if he finds me, he'll kill me." The table went silent. Ezra's expression didn't change, but something shifted in his eyes. The younger guy with the beard glanced at the third man, who gave a small nod. "Tell me everything," Ezra said, and Bertie did. She told him about the insurance company where she used to work, about the files she'd stumbled across, policies on people who didn't exist, payouts to fake beneficiaries, millions of dollars funneled through the system. She told him about Warren, her supervisor, who'd found out she knew, who'd threatened her, who'd cornered her in the parking lot one night and told her she had 2 choices, keep her mouth shut or disappear. She'd chosen to disappear. "I reported it," Bertie said, her voice shaking. "I went to the police. I gave them everything. They said they'd look into it. That was 4 months ago. Nothing's happened. But Warren, he knows I talked. He's been hunting me ever since." Ezra's jaw tightened. "Where are the files?" Bertie hesitated. "I have copies. Hidden." "Where? Why do you care?" "Because," Ezra said slowly, "I know men like Warren, and I know how to stop them." Bertie stared at him. She didn't know why, but she believed him. "They're in a storage unit," she said, "in Memphis." Ezra nodded. He looked at the other 2 men. "Mateo, Levi, call Hound. Tell him we've got something." The bearded guy, Mateo, pulled out his phone. The third man, Levi, leaned closer to Bertie. "You got somewhere safe to stay tonight?" he asked. Bertie shook her head. "No, E." "You do now," Ezra said. "I can't." "You're not asking. I'm telling. You and your girls are coming with us." "I don't even know you." Ezra's expression softened just barely. "No, but I know what it's like to have nowhere left to go." Something in his voice made Bertie stop arguing. She looked at Emma and Sophie still eating, still oblivious to the danger they were in. She thought about Warren, about the voicemail, about the way he'd looked at her the last time she saw him like she was already dead. "Okay," she whispered. Ezra stood. "Finish eating. We leave in 5. As he walked toward the door, Bertie felt something she hadn't felt in months. Hope. But in the parking lot, hidden behind a rusted Chevy, a man lowered his binoculars and smiled. Warren had found them. Bertie grabbed Emma's hand too hard. Emma winced but didn't pull away. Sophie pressed against her other side as they followed Ezra through the diner door. The cold hit like a slap. Bertie's breath came out in white puffs. Her chest felt tight. "Which one's yours?" Ezra asked, scanning the parking lot. "We don't have a car." He stopped, turned. "You walked here. The bus dropped us 2 miles back." Ezra's jaw worked. He didn't say anything, just motioned toward a row of motorcycles lined up near the back. Bertie's stomach dropped. "I can't put them on a motorcycle. You got a better option." She didn't. That was the problem. That had always been the problem. Mateo pulled up on a black bike, engine rumbling. Levi was already mounted on another. Ezra walked to the biggest one, a beast of chrome and leather with saddlebags big enough to hide bodies. "They'll ride with me," Ezra said. "One in front, one in back. You're with Mateo." "I've never, first time for everything." He looked at Emma. "You scared?" Emma shook her head, but her eyes said different. "Good," Ezra said. "Brave kids deserve ice cream." "We'll get some later." Sophie's face lit up for the first time in months. "Really? Really?" Bertie wanted to argue, wanted to say this was insane, but before she could, headlights swept across the lot. A truck, dark blue, dented front bumper. Her heart stopped. "Get on, now!" Ezra's voice went flat and hard. "That's him," Bertie whispered. "That's Warren." Ezra didn't hesitate. He grabbed Emma, lifted her onto the bike like she weighed nothing. "Hold on to the bars. Don't let go." Then he picked up Sophie, positioned her behind him. "Arms around my waist, tight." Bertie stood frozen. The truck was slowing. Warren was leaning forward, squinting through the windshield. "Bertie, move." Mateo's voice cut through her panic. She ran, threw her leg over Mateo's bike. Her hands found his jacket and gripped. "Hold tighter," he said. She did. The engines roared. Ezra kicked off first, Sophie's small arms wrapped around him, Emma clutching the handlebars with white knuckles. Mateo followed. Levi brought up the rear. The truck lurched forward. They tore out of the parking lot, gravel spitting behind them. Bertie looked back. Warren's truck was gaining headlights, cutting through the dark. "He's following us," she screamed over the wind. "I know," Mateo yelled back. They hit the main road. Ezra opened up the throttle. The bike surged forward. Bertie had never moved this fast. The world blurred. Her stomach lurched. She pressed her face against Mateo's back and prayed. Behind them, Levi dropped back, positioning himself between Warren's truck and the group. The truck swerved, trying to pass. Levi matched it, blocking. "Where are we going?" Bertie yelled. "Clubhouse," Mateo shouted. 10 miles out." 10 miles felt like forever. The cold bit through her thin jacket. Her hands were numb. But Emma and Sophie, they were ahead, safe with Ezra. That was all that mattered. Warren's truck rammed into Levi's bike. Bertie screamed. Levi wobbled but held steady. He flipped Warren off and accelerated, pulling ahead. He's trying to kill him. Warren's trying to kill all of us. Mateo took a sharp turn. Bertie's body tilted. She was sure they'd crash. But Mateo held it, leaning into the curve like he'd done it 1,000 times. Ezra's voice crackled over a radio clipped to Mateo's jacket. "Hound, we've got a hostile. Blue truck. Plates Delta Charlie 7492. Send back up to Route 12. A gravelly voice responded. "Copy. 3 minutes out." 3 minutes. Bertie counted seconds in her head. Warren's truck was still behind them, weaving through traffic, honking. Other cars swerved. Someone laid on their horn. Then the truck pulled alongside Mateo's bike. Bertie's breath caught. She could see Warren now, his face twisted with rage, eyes locked on her. He rolled down his window. "You stupid bitch," he screamed. "You think you can run from me?" Mateo swerved right. Warren followed. The truck edged closer. Closer. Bertie could have reached out and touched it. "Mateo." "I got it." He slammed on the brakes. The bike skidded. Warren's truck shot past them. Mateo gunned it again, cutting left down a side road. Bertie's heart hammered so hard she thought it might explode. "Where's Ezra?" she gasped. "Ahead. He's got your girls. They're safe." Safe. The word felt impossible. They wound through side streets, past darkened houses and empty lots. Bertie had no idea where they were. Everything looked the same in the dark. But Mateo moved with certainty like he'd memorized every turn. Finally, they pulled into a long gravel driveway. A building loomed ahead low and sprawling, more warehouse than house. Lights glowed in the windows. Motorcycles lined the front. Dozens of them. Ezra was already off his bike, helping Emma and Sophie down. They looked shaken but unhurt. Bertie stumbled off Mateo's bike and ran to them, pulling both girls into her arms. "You're okay. You're okay." She said it over and over, more for herself than for them. "That was cool," Emma whispered. Bertie laughed. It came out broken and wet. "Oh, cool, yeah." Ezra walked over. "Warren's still on Route 12. "Last I saw," Mateo said. "Good. Hound's crew will handle him." "Handle him how?" Ezra looked at Bertie. "You don't need to know." Before she could respond, the door to the building swung open. A man stepped out, older, maybe 60, with a gray beard and a leather vest covered in patches. His eyes were sharp, taking in the scene in seconds. "This the situation?" he asked. "This is Bertie and her girls," Ezra said. "The situation's chasing them." The older man nodded. "Bring them in." Inside, the clubhouse was warm, too warm after the freezing ride. Bertie's fingers tingled as feeling came back. The space was huge, exposed beams, concrete floors, mismatched furniture that looked like it had survived a war. A bar ran along one wall. A pool table sat in the corner. Men and a few women milled around, all wearing the same patches. Hell's Angels. Bertie felt every eye on her. "Sit," the older man said, gesturing to a couch. "I'm Hound. This is my charter." Bertie sat. Emma and Sophie clung to her sides. Hound pulled up a chair, sat backwards on it, arms draped over the back. "Ezra filled me in on the ride over. Insurance fraud. Missing millions. Man named Warren Sykes hunting you." "That's the short version," Bertie said. "What's the long version?" She took a breath, started talking. Told him everything she'd told Ezra, but with more detail. The fake policies, the shell companies, the payouts that went to P.O. boxes and offshore accounts. She told him about her boss, Dennis Corman, who signed off on everything. About the county clerk, Denise Hartwell, who filed the false death certificates. About Warren, who handled enforcement, making sure no one asked questions. "And when you ask questions," Hound said, "he told me to forget what I saw. Said accidents happen to people who can't keep their mouths shut. But you didn't forget." "No. You went to the police." "I went to everyone, police, FBI, local news. No one cared, or they were paid not to care." Hound's expression darkened. "You got proof, ye puento. Copies of everything, bank records, emails, internal memos. It's all in a storage unit in Memphis." "Unit number 2, Bertie hesitated. Hound noticed. "Look," he said, "I get it. You don't know us. You've got no reason to trust us. But here's the reality. Warren knows where you are. He's probably got friends. Cops, maybe. People who'll look the other way while he finishes what he started. You want to survive this, you need people who don't care about looking the other way. You need us." Bertie looked around the room. At Ezra standing near the bar with his arms crossed. At Mateo still catching his breath. At Levi, who just walked in, his bike dinged but intact. At the dozen other faces watching her. She thought about the diner, the family who wouldn't share, the businessman who wouldn't look up, the truck drivers who told her to work harder. These people, bikers, criminals, outlaws, they'd saved her, fed her daughters, put themselves between her and a man who wanted her dead. "Unit 217, she said. "Memphis Self-Storage on Lamar Avenue." Hound nodded, looked at Ezra. "Take Grizz and Smokey. Get those files." "Tonight," Ezra asked. "Tonight." Ezra didn't argue. He just grabbed his keys and walked out. 2 other men followed. Bertie felt a pang of something, guilt, maybe, or fear. "He doesn't have to." "Yeah, he does," Hound said. "Ezra lost someone. His nephew. Kid was 17, got mixed up with the wrong people. An insurance scam, actually. Different operation, but same idea. Fake accident, fake payout. The kid died for real. Ezra's been looking for a way to make that right ever since." Bertie's throat tightened. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Just let him help. A woman approached, late 30s, tattoos covering both arms, blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail. She crouched in front of Emma and Sophie. You girls hungry? She asked. We've got pizza and cookies. Probably some ice cream if Hound didn't eat it all. Hound grunted. I saved some. Sophie looked at Bertie. Can we, Mama? Go ahead, baby. The woman her patch said Raven led the girls toward the kitchen. Bertie watched them go, feeling a strange ache. They looked small in this big space full of dangerous people, but they looked safe. Hound leaned forward. What's your plan after this? I don't have one. You thought about witness protection? I tried. They said I didn't qualify. Not enough immediate danger. She laughed bitterly. Guess getting death threats doesn't count. Bureaucrats, Hound muttered. Useless. Bertie's phone buzzed. She pulled it out. Another voicemail. Her hands shook as she opened it. Warren's voice filled her ear. I saw you, Bertie, at the diner. Thought you were so smart running to a bunch of bikers. You think they'll protect you? I'll burn that clubhouse to the ground. I'll make you watch your daughters die before I kill you. You've got 24 hours to bring me those files. After that, it's open season. She dropped the phone. Hound picked it up, listened. His face went stone. That's a confession, he said. To what? He didn't say his name. He didn't have to. We've got his number. We've got his voice. We've got enough. Enough for what? Hound smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Enough to bury him. Mateo walked over holding a laptop. Got something. Ran Warren's name through our contacts. He's got a record. Assault, extortion. Did 3 years in county, got out on good behavior. Good behavior, Bertie repeated. Right. He's also connected. Got a brother-in-law who's a sheriff's deputy in Shelby County. That's why your reports went nowhere. Bertie's stomach sank. So he's untouchable. Not untouchable, Hound said. Just protected. There's a difference. Levi appeared in the doorway. Hound, we've got company. Everyone froze. Bertie's pulse spiked. Is it Warren? Don't know yet. 2 cars, sedans, parked at the end of the drive. Hound stood. How long? Just pulled up. Hound motioned to Mateo. Get Bertie and her girls to the back room. Lock the door. Don't open it unless you hear my voice. What's happening? Bertie asked, standing. Could be Warren, could be Cumps, could be nothing. Either way, you're not part of it. They're here because of me. Which is why you're going in the back room. Move. Mateo grabbed her arm, not rough but firm. Bertie called for Emma and Sophie. Raven brought them over, both clutching cookies. They looked confused. Come on, girls, Bertie said, trying to keep her voice steady. We're going to hang out in another room for a bit. Why? Emma asked. Because Mama said so. They followed Mateo down a narrow hallway. The back room was small, a couch, a TV, a mini fridge, a single window with bars. Mateo locked the door behind them. Stay here. Stay quiet. What if something happens? Bertie whispered. Mateo met her eyes. Then you take your girls, you go out that window and you run. Don't look back. He left. The lock clicked. Bertie sat on the couch, pulling Emma and Sophie close. They were still eating cookies, oblivious. Her heart pounded so loud she was sure they could hear it. Minutes passed. Voices echoed from the main room, muffled, tense. She couldn't make out words. Then a door slammed. Footsteps. Heavy. Multiple people. Emma looked up. Mama. Shh. More voices. Louder now. A man shouted something. Another man responded. Then silence. The door handle rattled. Bertie's breath stopped. The handle turned. Locked. It rattled again, harder. Bertie. A voice. Not Mateo's. Not Hound's. Warren. I know you're in there. Open the door. She pressed her hand over Sophie's mouth. Pulled Emma closer. The girls were shaking. Don't make this harder than it has to be, Warren said. Just give me the files and walk away. I'll even let the kids go. Liar. He'd never let them go. Bertie knew that. I'm counting to 10, Warren said. Then I'm kicking this door in. Bertie looked at the window. The bars, no way out. 1. She scanned the room. Nothing. No weapon, no escape. 2. Her phone. She still had her phone. She pulled it out, hands shaking, tried to dial 911. 3. No signal. Of course. Middle of nowhere. No signal. 4. Emma started crying. Bertie held her tighter. 5. Think. There had to be something. 6. The mini fridge. She opened it. Beer, water, a bottle of vodka. She grabbed the vodka. 7. Sophie was sobbing now. Bertie whispered in her ear, "Cover your face, baby. Don't look." 8. She unscrewed the cap, poured vodka across the floor near the door. 9. She pulled a lighter from her pocket, one she'd carried for months, never used just in case. Her thumb hovered over the striker. 10. The door exploded inward. Warren filled the frame gun in hand. Bertie flicked the lighter. The vodka caught. Flames shot up a wall of fire between them and Warren. He staggered back, cursing. Smoke filled the room. "Out the window!" Bertie screamed. She grabbed a chair, swung it at the bars. Once, twice. They didn't budge. Warren was stomping out the flames. She swung again. The bars bent. Barely. Not enough. Warren raised his gun. The main door crashed open. Ezra charged through, slamming into Warren from the side. The gun went off. The bullet hit the ceiling. Plaster rained down. Ezra and Warren hit the floor grappling. Ezra's prosthetic legs scraped against the concrete as he pinned Warren down. He landed a punch, then another. Warren's nose broke with a wet crack. Hound appeared, gun drawn. "Enough!" Ezra didn't stop. Hound grabbed his shoulder. "I said enough!" Ezra stood, breathing hard. Warren groaned, blood pouring from his face. "Girl's okay?" Hound asked. Bertie nodded, still clutching Emma and Sophie. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. "Good," Hound said. He looked at Warren. "You just made the biggest mistake of your life." Warren spat blood. "You have no idea who you're messing with." "Actually," Ezra said, pulling out his phone, "we do." He played a recording, Warren's voice clear as day from the hallway just minutes ago. "Just give me the files and walk away. I'll even let the kids go." Warren's face went pale. "That's extortion," Ezra said. "Threats against minors. Breaking and entering. Assault with a deadly weapon. Want me to keep going?" Warren said nothing. Hound made a call. "Yeah, we've got him. Bring the cops. The clean ones." Bertie sank onto the couch. Emma and Sophie crawled into her lap. She held them. Her whole body shook. But they were alive. They were safe, for now. Warren's blood pooled on the concrete. He coughed, spat again, glared at Ezra like he wanted to rip his throat out. "You're dead," Warren rasped. "All of you. You don't know what you've done." "Shut up," Hound said. "No, you shut up. You think you're heroes. You're protecting a thief." Bertie's head snapped up. "What?" Warren grinned through broken teeth. "Didn't tell them, did you, about the money you took?" "I didn't take anything." "Then why'd you run? Why not stay and fight if you're so innocent? Because you threatened to kill me? Because you stole $200,000 from the company account and pinned it on me?" The room went silent. Every eye turned to Bertie. Emma and Sophie pressed closer, sensing the shift. Bertie's face went hot. "That's a lie." "Is it?" Warren said. "Check her bank records." "Go ahead. You'll find 50 grand deposited 2 days before she disappeared. Another 75 the week before that." Hound looked at Bertie. "That true?" "No, I didn't." "She's playing you," Warren said. "Classic con. Cry poor, get people to feel sorry for her, then clean them out when they're not looking." Bertie stood trembling. "He's lying. He put that money in my account to frame me. That's what he does. He frames people. He kills them and he takes the insurance payout. That's the whole operation." "Prove it," Warren said. "I will. The files. The files you conveniently have hidden away where no one can see them. How convenient." Mateo stepped forward. "Hound, we can't just—" "I know." Hound held up a hand, looked at Bertie. "I want to believe you, but he's got a point. You show up out of nowhere, desperate, no proof except your word. Now he's saying you're the thief. He's lying to save himself. Maybe, or maybe you're lying to save yourself." Bertie's chest tightened. This couldn't be happening. Not after everything. "Where's your phone?" Hound asked. She handed it over, and hands shaking. Hound scrolled through her bank app. His face darkened. "There's deposits here, 50,000, 75,000, just like he said. I didn't put that money there. Warren did. He has access to everything. He set me up. You got proof of that. It's in the files. The files we don't have yet." Bertie wanted to scream, wanted to throw something, but Emma and Sophie were watching wide-eyed and scared. "Mama," Emma whispered, "what's happening?" Nothing, baby. Just grown-up stuff. Ezra crossed the room, crouched in front of Warren. You're full of it. Am I? Check the timestamps. Check the IP addresses. That money was transferred from her computer, her login, not mine. Easy to fake. Sure, if you're smart, but Bertie's not that smart. She's just a secretary who got greedy. Ezra's fist connected with Warren's jaw. Warren's head snapped back. Blood sprayed. Ezra, Hound barked. He's baiting us. I know. Back off. Ezra stood, breathing hard. He looked at Bertie. Something flickered in his eyes, doubt maybe, or just exhaustion. I didn't take that money, Bertie said again. Her voice cracked. Please, you have to believe me. Believing's got nothing to do with it, Hound said. We need facts. Then get the files. Ezra's on his way to Memphis right now. When he gets back, you'll see. Warren's lying. If Ezra gets back, Warren said. Hound's head turned slowly. What's that mean? Warren smiled. You think I came alone? You think I'm the only one looking for her? My people know where your boys are headed. They know about the storage unit. By the time your guys get there, it'll be cleaned out. Or burned down, whichever's easier. Hound pulled out his phone, dialed. It rang, and rang. No answer. He tried again. Same result. Ezra's not picking up, Mateo said. Neither is Grizz or Smokey, Levi added. Bertie's stomach dropped. What does that mean? It means they're either busy or dead, Warren said. Hound grabbed Warren by the collar, hauled him up. If anything happens to my boys, I'll gut you myself. Go ahead. Won't change what's coming. The front door burst open. A young guy, couldn't be more than 20, stumbled in, breathing hard. Hound, cops, 3 cruisers, coming up the drive. Clean ones or dirty ones? Hound asked. Don't know yet. Hound swore, looked at Mateo. Get Bertie and the girls out the back. Now. What about Warren? Leave him. Let the cops deal with it. They're dirty, they'll let him walk, Levi said. Then we'll deal with that when it happens. Move. Mateo grabbed Bertie's arm. She scooped up Sophie, pulled Emma close. They ran down the hallway past the back room with the still smoldering vodka stain out a side door into the cold. The gravel crunched under their feet. Bertie's lungs burned. Behind them, sirens wailed. Red and blue lights flickered through the trees. Mateo led them to a shed behind the clubhouse. Inside was another motorcycle, a four-wheeler, and a pickup truck that looked like it had survived a demolition derby. Get in the truck, Mateo said, tossing Bertie the keys. Where are we going? Anywhere but here. I can't just leave. Hound gave you an order. You follow it. Bertie hesitated. Emma tugged her hand. Mama, I'm scared. That decided it. Bertie climbed into the driver's seat, buckled the girls into the back. The engine coughed, sputtered, then roared to life. She threw it into gear and tore down a dirt path that wound through the woods. In the rearview mirror, the clubhouse lights faded. She couldn't see the cop cars, couldn't see Mateo, couldn't see anything but trees and darkness. Where are we going? Emma asked. I don't know, baby. Are we safe? Bertie wanted to say yes, wanted to promise everything would be okay. But she'd made that promise before. It hadn't been true then either. We're trying to be, she said. The truck bounced over roots and rocks. Sophie started crying. Emma held her hand, whispering something Bertie couldn't hear. The engine sounded wrong, a grinding, clanking noise that got louder with every mile. Then it died. Bertie tried the ignition. Nothing. Tried again. The engine clicked, wheezed, gave up. No, 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 no. She got out, popped the hood, smoke poured out. Something metal had snapped, oil leaked everywhere. She didn't know enough about engines to fix it, didn't have tools, didn't have time. She pulled out her phone, still no signal. Emma climbed out. Mama, get back in the truck. But now, Emma obeyed. Bertie scanned the woods. They were maybe 5 miles from the clubhouse, middle of nowhere. She had no idea which direction led to town. The cold bit through her jacket. Her breath came in white clouds. They couldn't stay here, but they couldn't walk either, not with 2 little girls in the freezing dark. Headlights appeared through the trees. Bertie's heart stopped. She grabbed the tire iron from the truck bed, held it like a weapon. The headlights grew closer. A car, moving slow, searching. It stopped 20 feet away. The door opened. A woman stepped out. Tall, maybe 50, wearing a police uniform. Badge glinted in the headlights. Bertie Renault, the woman called. Bertie didn't answer. I'm Deputy Marshal Karen Cross, federal, not local. I'm here to help. How do I know that? You don't, but you're out of options. Bertie tightened her grip on the tire iron. Warren sent you. Warren's in custody. I just left the clubhouse. Hound told me where you'd be. Prove it. Cross held up her phone. A text from Hound's number. Trust her. She's clean. Bertie's hand shook. Anyone could have sent that. True, but not anyone would know that Warren Sykes threatened to burn down a clubhouse full of Hell's Angels, or that you've got two daughters named Emma and Sophie, or that you set a hallway on fire with vodka and a lighter. Bertie's grip loosened. Cross took a step closer. I've been tracking Warren for 6 months, Cross said. Different case, same operation. When Hound called me tonight, I knew it was connected. You're not the first person Warren's hunted. But if we do this right, you'll be the last. Do what right? Bring him down, all of them. Warren, Dennis Corman, Denise Hartwell, the whole network. I tried that. No one listened. Because you went to the wrong people. People Warren owns. You're talking to me now, and I don't answer to anyone in this county. Bertie looked back at the truck, at Emma and Sophie watching through the window. What do you need from me? She asked. The files and your testimony. The files are in Memphis, and Warren said his people are going after them. They already did. Ezra and his crew got there first. Bertie's heart jumped. They're alive. Alive and on their way back. They've got everything, bank records, emails, forged death certificates, enough to put Warren and his friends away for 20 years. But we need you to tie it together. You're the witness. You're the one who saw it all. Warren said I stole money, that I'm the criminal. Cross smiled sharp and cold. Warren says a lot of things. Most of them are lies. We pulled your real bank records, not the fake ones Warren planted. You're clean. He framed you because you were about to expose him. Bertie felt something loosen in her chest. Relief, or maybe just exhaustion. What happens now? She asked. Now you come with me. You and your girls. I'll take you somewhere safe. Tomorrow we'll meet with the federal prosecutor. You'll tell your story and we'll end this. Just like that. No, not just like that. It'll be hard. Warren's lawyers will tear you apart on the stand. They'll call you a liar, a thief, a bad mother. They'll try to break you. They already have, Bertie said quietly. Cross met her eyes. Then they'll fail, because you're still standing. Bertie looked at the truck again, at her daughters, at the broken engine and the smoke and the woods that stretched on forever. Okay, she said, let's go. Cross opened the back door of her sedan. Bertie carried Sophie, led Emma by the hand. They climbed in. The car was warm. The seats were soft. Sophie curled up immediately, half asleep. Cross got behind the wheel. There's blankets in the back, food in the bag on the floor. Help yourselves. Bertie found granola bars, juice boxes. Emma grabbed one, handed another to Sophie. They ate in silence. Cross drove headlights cutting through the dark. Where are we going? Bertie asked. Safe house, federal property. No one knows about it except me and my team. Is Ezra meeting us there? Eventually. He's got a few things to finish first. Bertie nodded. Her eyelids felt heavy. She hadn't slept in days. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Warren. Heard his voice. Felt the gun aimed at her head. But tonight, for the first time in months, she felt the edges of safety. Then Cross's phone rang. She answered, listened. Her face changed. When? Cross asked. A pause. How many? Another pause. I'm 10 minutes out. Secure the perimeter. She hung up. Looked at Bertie in the rearview mirror. What's wrong? Bertie asked. The safe house. Someone hid it. What does that mean? It means someone knew where we were going. Bertie's blood went cold. How? Cross's jaw tightened. I don't know, but we're not going there anymore. She took a sharp turn, tires squealing. Emma grabbed the door handle. Sophie woke up crying. Who hit it? Bertie asked. Warren's people? Probably, or someone worse. Someone worse than Warren. Cross didn't answer. She just drove faster. The trees blurred, the road twisted. Bertie held her daughters, her mind racing. Warren was in custody. His people were scrambling. But someone had still found the safe house. Someone with reach, someone with resources. Dennis Corman, Bertie said. Warren's boss. He's the one with connections. Police judges, politicians. He's got everyone in his pocket. Not everyone, Cross said. But enough. So what do? We improvise. They drove for another 20 minutes. Cross pulled off the main road down a narrow dirt path that barely qualified as a driveway. A cabin appeared small, old, half hidden by overgrown brush. No lights, no cars, no sign of life. Is this another safe house? Bertie asked. No, this is my uncle's hunting cabin. No one knows about it. Not even my team. Then how do we know it's safe? We don't, but it's all we've got. Cross parked it, got out, checked the perimeter. She came back, opened Bertie's door. Inside, quick. They ran to the cabin. Cross unlocked it, ushered them in. The interior smelled like dust and old wood. A single room with a fireplace, a couch, a kitchenette. Cross locked the door, drew the curtains. Stay away from the windows, she said. For how long? Bertie asked. Until I figure out who leaked the safe house location. And if they find us here, Cross pulled in her gun, checked the magazine. Then I'll handle it. Bertie sat on the couch, pulled Emma and Sophie close. They were shaking. So was she. I'm sorry, Bertie whispered. I'm so sorry I dragged you into this. Emma looked up. You didn't drag us, Mama. We're a team. Bertie's throat closed. She kissed Emma's forehead, then Sophie's, held them until their shaking stopped. Cross paced by the window phone pressed to her ear. She spoke in low, clipped tones. Hung up, dialed again, hung up again. Her frustration was palpable. What's wrong? Bertie asked. Everyone's ignoring me. My supervisor, my team lead, even the prosecutor. No one's picking up. Maybe they're busy. Or maybe they're compromised. The word hung in the air like a guillotine blade. You think Dennis got to them? Bertie said. I think Dennis got to someone. And until I know who we're on our own. Outside branches snapped. Cross's head whipped toward the sound. She killed the lights, plunging the cabin into darkness. Don't move, she whispered. Bertie held her daughters tighter. Her heart pounded. The snapping sound came again. Closer. Footsteps. Cross moved to the window, peered through a gap in the curtains. Her hand tightened on her gun. How many? Bertie mouthed. Cross held up 3 fingers. 3 men, maybe more. Outside, circling. A voice called out. Marshal Cross, we know you're in there. Come out. Bring the woman and her kids. No one has to get hurt. Cross didn't respond. She moved to the door, positioned herself to the side. Ready. We've got the cabin surrounded, the voice said. You've got 60 seconds to decide, then we're coming in. Bertie's mind raced. 3 men, 1 marshal, 2 little girls. No backup, no escape. Cross looked at Bertie, mouthed one word. Hide. Bertie grabbed Emma and Sophie pulled them toward the kitchenette. There was a pantry barely big enough for 1 person, let alone 3. She shoved them inside, climbed in after them, pulled the door shut. Through the crack, she saw Cross take position, saw the front door handle turn, saw the door burst open. 3 men rushed in. Cross fired. 1 man went down. The other 2 returned fire. The cabin exploded with sound. Bertie covered her daughter's ears, pressed them into the corner. Another shot, another man down. The 3rd man tackled Cross. They hit the floor, grappling. The man's gun skittered away. Cross drove her elbow into his face. Once, twice. He went limp. Cross stood breathing hard. Blood dripped from her lip. She wiped it away, looked toward the pantry. You okay? Bertie pushed the door open. Are they dead? 2 are. 1's unconscious. Who are they? Cross checked the unconscious man's wallet. Her face went pale. Marshal Service? They're federal. Bertie's stomach dropped. Dennis owns federal marshals. Not all of us, but enough. Then who can we trust? Cross looked at her. Right now, no one. Cross dragged the unconscious marshal into the corner, zip-tied his wrists and ankles. She checked the other 2 bodies, confirmed they were dead, then grabbed their phones and weapons. Her hands moved fast, efficient, like she'd done this 100 times before. We need to leave, she said. Now. Where? Bertie asked. Her voice came out smaller than she wanted. I don't know yet, but staying here is suicide. Emma tugged Bertie's sleeve. Mama, those men. Don't look at them, baby. But Emma had already seen. Sophie, too. Their faces were pale eyes too wide. Bertie wanted to cover their eyes, turn back time, undo everything. But time only moved one direction. Cross grabbed a backpack from the closet, started shoving supplies inside. Flashlight, first aid kit, bottled water, granola bars, extra ammunition. How did they find us? Bertie asked. My phone had to be. They tracked it. So ditch it. Already planning on it. Cross pulled out the SIM card, crushed it under her boot. Then she smashed the phone against the floor until it was unrecognizable pieces. The unconscious Marshal groaned. His eyes fluttered open. Cross was on him in seconds, knee on his chest, gun to his temple. Who sent you? She demanded. The man coughed. Blood trickled from his nose. Go to hell. Already there. Who sent you? You don't know what you're protecting. That woman's a criminal. That woman's a witness, and you just murdered 2 federal officers trying to kill her. We didn't murder anyone. We're doing our job. Your job is to protect, not execute. The man smiled through bloody teeth. Orders are orders. Whose orders? He didn't answer. Cross pressed the gun harder. Talk. Shoot me. Won't change anything. There's 20 more where I came from. They'll find you. They'll find her. And when they do, those kids will watch their mother die. Bertie's blood turned to ice. Sophie started crying again. Emma held her, whispering, but her own hands were shaking. Cross stood backed away. Get up. What? I said get up. The man struggled to his feet, hands still zip-tied. Cross walked him to the door, opened. It shoved him outside. Walk. Where? Away from here. Tell whoever sent you that Bertie Renault is dead. Tell them you finished the job. Tell them whatever you want. But if I see you again, I won't hesitate. The man stared at her. You're letting me go. I'm giving you a choice. Take it or don't. He stumbled into the woods, disappearing into the dark. Cross slammed the door, locked it. Why'd you let him go? Bertie asked. Because killing him makes us murderers. And because he'll report back that we're still here, gives us a head start while they regroup. Or he comes back with reinforcements. Then we better move fast. Cross grabbed the backpack, handed it to Bertie. Carry this. Stay close. Don't stop for anything. They ran, out the back door into the woods. The cold bit harder now. The ground was uneven, roots and rocks waiting to trip them. Sophie stumbled. Bertie caught her, kept moving. Emma ran beside them, breathing hard but not complaining. Behind them, headlights appeared. Then voices, shouting. They're coming back, Bertie gasped. I know. Keep moving. They ran harder. Bertie's lungs burned. Her legs screamed. But she didn't stop. Couldn't stop. Emma's hand gripped hers like a lifeline. Sophie's weight pressed against her other side. Cross led them down a slope through a creek that soaked their shoes up the other side. The voices faded. The headlights disappeared. But Bertie knew they'd find them. It was only a matter of time. They reached a road. Empty. Dark. No cars. No houses. Nothing. Which way? Bertie asked. Cross looked, left then right. This way. They walked along the shoulder, keeping to the shadows. Every sound made Bertie flinch. Every rustle in the bushes felt like an ambush. Emma was limping now. Sophie was half asleep on Bertie's shoulder. Then headlights appeared, coming fast. Hide, Cross hissed. They dove into the ditch beside the road. Bertie covered the girls with her body. The car roared past. It didn't slow, didn't stop, just kept going. Bertie exhaled. Cross helped them up. How much farther? Emma asked. Her voice was so small. I don't know, baby, Bertie said. I'm tired. I know. Me too. They kept walking. Minutes stretched into hours, or maybe it was just minutes. Bertie couldn't tell anymore. Time felt broken. Everything felt broken. Then Cross's phone buzzed. Her backup phone, the one she'd kept hidden. She answered, listened. Her face changed. Where? She asked. Another pause. How long ago? She hung up, looked at Bertie. Ezra's back. He's got the files, and he's pissed. Pissed about what? About the marshals who tried to kill you. About the leak in my department. About all of it. Cross started walking faster. He wants to meet. Says he's got something we need to see. Where? Old Church, 5 miles north. That's a long walk with 2 kids. Then we better move. They walked. Emma started crying. Sophie was crying. Bertie was close to crying herself. Her feet were blistered. Her body ached. But she kept moving. 1 foot in front of the other. That's all she could do. Finally, the church appeared. Small, abandoned, half the roof caved in. Ezra's bike was parked outside. So were 3 others. Hound, Mateo, and Levi stood near the entrance. Ezra paced, phone pressed to his ear. He saw them, ended the call, walked over. "You okay?" he asked. Bertie nodded, didn't trust her voice. Ezra crouched in front of Emma and Sophie. "You two are tough. You know that," Sophie sniffled. "I'm scared." "Me too," Ezra said. "But we're going to fix this, I promise." "Don't make promises you can't keep," Bertie said. Ezra stood, met her eyes. "I keep my promises." Inside the church, they spread out the files, boxes of them. Bank statements, emails, forged documents. Everything Warren and Dennis had built, everything they'd used to steal millions. Hound whistled. "This is bigger than we thought." "How big?" Cross asked. 32 fake policies, 87 payouts. Over $12 million total. Bertie's stomach turned. 12 million. And that's just what we found. Could be more. Cross flipped through a stack of emails. Her face went darker with each page. Dennis Corman's got judges on payroll, district attorneys, police chiefs, even a state senator. "Which one?" Hound asked. Cross held up a printout. A photo of a man in his 50s, gray hair, fake smile. Senator Richard Holbrook. Bertie's breath caught. "He's the one who killed the investigation. I went to his office, gave him everything. He said he'd handle it. 2 weeks later, Warren came after me." "Holbrook tipped him off," Cross said. "Probably got a cut of the money." "So what do we do?" Mateo asked. "We can't trust the cops, can't trust the feds, can't trust anyone." "We go public," Ezra said. "With what these files, they'll bury them. Not if we give them to someone they can't bury." "Like who?" Ezra pulled out of his phone, scrolled, held up a contact. "Journalist, investigative. She's been digging into insurance fraud for years. She'll run this story, and once it's out, Dennis and his people can't hide anymore." Cross nodded slowly. "It could work, but it's risky. Once the story breaks, they'll come after all of us. Hard." "They're already coming after us," Levi said. "At least this way we fight back." Bertie looked at the files, at the faces of people who'd died. Fake people. Real people. All of them reduced to numbers on a spreadsheet. All of them collateral damage in Dennis's empire. "Do it," she said. Ezra made the call. The journalist answered on the second ring. He explained the situation, quick, concise. She asked questions. Ezra answered. Then he put Bertie on. "Mrs. Renault," the journalist said, "I need to ask you something." "What? Are you willing to go on record? Full name, full story, everything?" Bertie hesitated. Going on record meant no hiding. Meant Emma and Sophie's names would be out there too. Meant their lives would never be normal again. But they'd never been normal. Not for a long time. "Yes," Bertie said, "I'll do it." "Good. I'll need to see the files, all of them. And I'll need to verify your story. That could take a few days." "We don't have a few days." "Then we work fast. I'll start tonight. By tomorrow morning, this will be front-page news." They hung up. Ezra started boxing up the files, preparing to deliver them. Hound and Mateo helped. Levi kept watch outside. Cross pulled Bertie aside. "You sure about this?" "No, but what choice do I have?" "You could run. Take the girls, disappear, start over somewhere new." "I tried that. Warren found me. Dennis will find me too. The only way this ends is if we end it." Cross nodded. "Then let's end it." But before they could move, Levi burst inside. "We've got company." "How many?" Hound asked. "Too many." They rushed to the windows. Cars, trucks, at least a dozen circling the church. Headlights cut through the dark. Doors opened. Men got out. Some in uniforms, some in suits, all armed. "That's Dennis," Bertie whispered. She recognized him immediately. Gray hair, expensive coat, smug expression. He walked toward the church, hands in his pockets. Casual. Like he owned the world. "Bertie Renault," he called. "I know you're in there. Come out. Let's talk like adults." "Don't," Cross said. "I'm not stupid." Dennis stopped at the entrance. "I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to make a deal." "I'm not interested," Bertie shouted back. "You should be, because right now you're surrounded. You've got 2 little girls in there. You really want them to see what happens next." Bertie's chest tightened. Emma and Sophie clung to her, shaking. "What do you want?" Bertie asked. "The files. All of them. You give them to me, I let you walk away. You and your girls, no harm. Fresh start, new life. I'll even throw in some money. Enough to get you wherever you want to go. And what happens to everyone else? That's not your problem. It is now, Dennis sighed. You're making this harder than it needs to be. I'm giving you an out. Take it. No. Then I'll take it by force. He raised his hand. The men behind him raised their weapons. Ezra stepping forward. You fire one shot and every media outlet in the state gets a copy of those files. We've already sent them. Dennis's expression flickered. Just for a second. Then he smiled. You're bluffing. Try me. Dennis lowered his hand. The men lowered their weapons, but they didn't leave. You think you've won, Dennis said, but you haven't. You've just delayed the inevitable. Those files, I'll discredit, Bertie's testimony, I'll destroy her on the stand. She's got a record now. Theft, fraud. Who's going to believe a woman who stole $200,000? I didn't steal anything, Bertie said. Doesn't matter. The evidence says you did. And evidence is all that matters. I've got evidence too. Not anymore. Dennis pulled out his phone, tapped the screen. An explosion rocked the distance. Flames lit up the sky. That's the storage unit in Memphis, Dennis said. The one where you kept your precious files. It's gone, along with every copy you made. Bertie's legs went weak. No. Yes, so here's the reality. You have got nothing. I've got everything. And unless you walk out of that church right now and hand over whatever scraps you managed to save, I'll burn this place down with you inside. Hound stepped forward. You're not burning anything. You think your leather jackets scare me? I own this county. I own the cops. I own the judges. You're just a bunch of bikers playing hero. And heroes die. So do villains, Hound said. Dennis laughed. I'm not the villain, old man. I'm the system. And the system always wins. He turned to leave, but Ezra's voice stopped him. You forgot something. Dennis looked back. What? Ezra held up a USB drive. Cloud backup. Every file, every email, every transaction. Uploaded an hour ago. Multiple servers, multiple countries. You can't touch it. Dennis's face went white, then red, then something darker. You're lying. Am I? Dennis pulled a gun, aimed it at Ezra. Give me the drive. No, damn. I'll kill you. Then you'll never find the servers. Dennis's hands shook. He was losing control. Bertie could see it. The mask was cracking. You think you're smart, Dennis said, but you're just delaying. I'll find those servers. I'll erase everything, and then I'll find you. All of you, and I'll make you beg before I kill you. Big talk for a man with a gun he can't use, Ezra said. Dennis fired. The bullet hit the wall beside Ezra's head. Ezra didn't flinch. That's assault, Cross said, with witnesses. You think I care? You think any of this matters? Dennis was shouting now. Spittle flew from his mouth. I've spent 20 years building this. 20 years. And you think some files and a journalist are going to take it down? I'll bury her. I'll bury all of you. Then bury us, Ezra said. But the story's already out. Check your phone. Dennis did. His face changed. He scrolled faster. Then he threw the phone. It shattered against the ground. What did you do? He screamed. Exactly what I said I'd do. The journalist hadn't waited. She'd published the story early. Front page, every major news site. Dennis Corman, Warren Sykes, Richard Holbrook, every name, every crime, every dollar, laid bare for the world to see. Dennis stared at the wreckage of his phone, then at Ezra, then at Bertie. You just killed yourself, he said. All of you. Then he got in his car and drove away. His men followed. Within minutes, the church was empty again. Just them. Just the cold. Just the silence. Bertie collapsed. Her legs gave out. Emma and Sophie held her crying, but she barely felt it. It was over. It was finally over. Or was it? Cross-checked her phone. Stories trending. Every outlet's picking it up. FBI just issued a statement. They're opening an investigation. Dennis will run, Hound said. He can try, but he's too high profile now. Every cop in the country will be looking for him. What about Holbrook? Mateo asked. Senator Holbrook just announced his resignation, effective immediately. A slow smile spread across Ezra's face. We did it. Bertie looked up. Did we? Yeah, we did. But even as he said it, Bertie's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. You think it's over? It's not. See you soon. Her blood ran cold. She showed Ezra. His smile vanished. Who sent that? He asked. I don't know. Cross traced the number. Her face went pale. It's encrypted, routed through 6 different countries. Whoever sent this, they're serious, and they're watching. Bertie pulled Emma and Sophie closer, looked around the ruined church, at the broken pews and shattered windows, at the faces of people who'd risked everything to help her. What do we do now? She asked. Ezra met her eyes. We finish it. For real this time. But outside, hidden in the trees, a figure lowered a pair of binoculars and smiled. Dennis wasn't the only one who wanted Bertie dead, and this person was just getting started. The text glowed on Bertie's phone like a threat carved in neon. Cross grabbed it, studied the message, then crushed the phone under her boot. Hey, Bertie protested. They're tracking you. Every device you've touched is compromised. Then how do we communicate? We don't, we move. Ezra was already gathering the files, shoving them back into boxes. Hound barked orders to Mateo and Levi. They worked fast, efficient, like a machine built for survival. Emma tugged Bertie's sleeve. Mom, I don't understand. Didn't we win? I thought we did, baby. Then why are we still running? Bertie didn't have an answer. She looked at Cross, hoping for one. Cross's expression said everything. They loaded the bikes. Bertie climbed on behind Ezra again, the girls sandwiched between them. The engine roared. They tore away from the church headlights, off navigating by moonlight and memory. Behind them, the church exploded. The blast threw heat across Bertie's back. Sophie screamed. Emma buried her face in Ezra's jacket. Bertie looked back, flames consumed the building, smoke billowing into the sky. They were waiting for us to leave, Cross shouted over the wind. Who? Bertie yelled back. I don't know, but they wanted us alive. Otherwise, they would have blown it while we were inside. That thought didn't comfort Bertie. Alive meant they had other plans, worse plans. They rode for an hour, maybe more. The landscape changed from woods to farmland to industrial wasteland. Abandoned factories lined the road. Rust and decay everywhere. Finally, Ezra pulled into a warehouse with a collapsed roof and boarded windows. Inside, the space was cavernous, empty except for old machinery and rats. Hound lit a camping lantern. Shadows danced on the walls. We can't stay here long, Cross said. They'll find us. How? Mateo asked. We ditched the phones, took back roads. There's no way they tracked us. There's always a way. Ezra set the files on an overturned crate. We need to figure out who sent that text. Dennis is obvious, but he's running scared. This feels different. Organized. Could be Holbrook, Levi suggested. Senator's got resources. Cross shook her head. Holbrook's finished. His career's over. He's worried about staying out of prison, not revenge. Then who? Bertie asked. No one answered. The silence stretched. Sophie climbed into Bertie's lap, shivering. Emma sat close, watching the adults with eyes too old for her age. Cross's backup phone buzzed. She checked it, her face tightening. FBI just arrested Warren. He's talking. Talking about what? Hound asked. Everything. Dennis, Holbrook, the whole operation. But he's also saying someone else was involved. Someone higher up. Higher than a senator, Mateo said. Apparently. Bertie's stomach dropped. Who? Cross read from the phone. Warren claims there's a silent partner. Someone who funded the operation from the start. Someone with enough power to make evidence disappear and witnesses die. He won't give a name. Says he's afraid they'll kill him even in custody. That's convenient, Ezra said. Or it's true, Cross replied. A sound outside. Footsteps. Everyone froze. Hound killed the lantern. Darkness swallowed them. Ezra drew his gun. Mateo and Levi moved to the windows. Cross positioned herself between Bertie and the door. The footsteps stopped. Then a voice called out, Marshal Cross, it's Agent Reeves, FBI. I'm alone. I'm here to help. Cross didn't move. Prove it. You called me 6 hours ago. Asked me to look into Richard Holbrook's financial records. I found something big. What? Not out here. Let me in. Cross hesitated, looked at Hound. He nodded. She opened the door. A man stepped inside, mid-40s, tired eyes, wrinkled suit. He held up his badge and eyed Cross checked them, then let him pass. Talk, she said. Reeves pulled out a folder. Holbrook's been funneling money to offshore accounts for years. Millions. But it's not his money, it's coming from someone else. Who? Reeves opened the folder. Inside was a photo, a woman, late 60s, silver hair, sharp eyes, expensive jewelry. Bertie's breath caught. That's Denise Hartwell. The county clerk, Cross asked. She's more than a clerk, Reeves said. She's the architect. She created the whole system. Dennis and Warren were just her employees. Hound swore. A county clerk orchestrated a $12 million fraud operation. She's not just a clerk. She's been in that office for 30 years. She knows every loophole, every weak point in the system. She's got connections everywhere. Judges, cops, politicians, even federal agents. Cross's face went pale. The marshals who attacked us. She sent them. Probably. Then she's still out there. Watching, waiting. Not just watching, Reeves said. She's cleaning house. Warren's arrest spooked her. She's eliminating anyone who can connect her to the operation. Dennis is on her list. So is Holbrook. And so is Bertie. Bertie felt like she'd been punched. Why me? I don't know anything about her. You know the system. You've got the files. You're the witness who can tie it all together. As long as you're alive, she's vulnerable. So what do? You testify. FBI's offering full protection. Witness relocation, new identities for you and your daughters. The works. And if she finds me anyway? Reeves didn't answer. He didn't have to. Emma's voice broke the silence. Mom, I don't want a new name. Bertie pulled her close. I know, baby. I like my name. I like being Emma. You'll always be Emma, no matter what name we use. Sophie started crying. I want to go home. We don't have a home anymore, sweet pea. Then I want to make a new one, a real one, where nobody chases us. Bertie's throat closed. She looked at Cross, at Ezra, at Hound, at these strangers who'd risked everything for her, who'd become more than strangers, who'd become something she hadn't had in months. Family. There's another option, Ezra said. We find Denise before she finds us. That's insane, Cross said. So is running for the rest of our lives. You're talking about hunting a woman with unlimited resources and zero conscience. I'm talking about ending this permanently. Reeves closed the folder. If you go after her, the FBI can't help you. You'll be on your own. We're already on our own, Hound said. Cross looked at Bertie. It's your call. Bertie thought about the diner, about begging for scraps, about Warren's threats and Dennis's arrogance, and Denise's invisible hand pulling every string. She thought about Emma and Sophie growing up afraid, looking over their shoulders, never knowing safety. Let's find her, Bertie said. Reeves nodded. I can give you a starting point. Denise owns a property outside town, isolated, heavily secured. If she's anywhere, she's there. How do you know so, Mateo asked. Because I've been tracking her for 6 months. She doesn't know it yet, but she will soon. He handed Cross a map with an address circled in red. Cross studied it, then passed it to Ezra. This is a death trap, she said. Probably, Ezra agreed, but it's our only shot. They geared up, checked weapons, made a plan. Bertie wanted to help, but Cross stopped her. You stay here with the girls. We'll handle this. No, boy, Bertie. She's hunting me, not you. If anyone should face her, it's me. You're not trained for this. Neither were you when you started. You learn. So will I. Cross looked like she wanted to argue, but something in Bertie's eyes stopped her. Fine, but you follow orders. No heroics, no risks. You do exactly what I say. Deal. Raven appeared, the woman from the clubhouse. I'll watch the girls. Are you sure? Bertie asked. I've got 4 kids of my own. 2 more won't kill me. Emma looked up. You'll keep us safe. Kid, I've survived 3 husbands and a prison riot. You're in good hands. That almost made Bertie smile. She kissed Emma and Sophie held them longer than she should have. I'll be back, she promised. You better be, Emma said. They left. 5 bikes, 7 people, riding through the dark toward a fight none of them might survive. Bertie's hands shook. She gripped Ezra's jacket tighter. You scared? He asked. Terrified. Good. Fear keeps you sharp. Or gets you killed. That too. They reached the property, a mansion behind iron gates and high walls, cameras everywhere, floodlights, guard dogs. Denise hadn't been subtle. Cross pulled out binoculars. 2 guards at the gate, 3 roaming the grounds, maybe more inside. How do we get in? Levi asked. We don't. We draw her out. How Obama? Cross looked at Bertie. We make her think you're alone. Vulnerable. She'll come to finish it herself. You want to use me as bait. I want to give you a chance to end this. Bertie's heart pounded, but she nodded. They positioned themselves. Cross and Hound took the north side. Mateo and Levi covered the south. Ezra stayed with Bertie at the gate. Bertie walked forward. Alone. Hands raised. Visible. Denise Hartwell, she shouted. I know you're in there. I know what you've done. And I know you want me dead. Silence. Then the gates opened. Not all the way, just enough for one person to slip through. Denise stepped out, elegant, composed, a gun in her hand. Bertie Renault, she said, you're either very brave or very stupid. Probably both. You should have taken Dennis's offer. Should have run while you had the chance. I tried running. Didn't work. No, it rarely does. Denise raised the gun. You've cost me a great deal. My operation, my reputation, my freedom. You cost people their lives. Collateral damage, necessary for progress. You sound like a psychopath. Denise smiled. I sound like a businesswoman. And business requires difficult decisions. Like murdering a mother and her children. Like eliminating threats. You're a threat, Bertie, a loose end. And I don't leave loose ends. She pulled the trigger. Ezra tackled Bertie. The bullet hit the ground where she'd been standing. Cross emerged from the shadows, gun drawn. Drop it. Denise spun, fired. Cross dove behind a concrete pillar. Hound and Mateo rushed from the sides. Denise fired again. Mateo went down, clutching his shoulder. Levi came from behind, grabbed Denise's arm. She twisted, drove her elbow into his face. He staggered. She kicked him in the chest. He fell. Bertie scrambled to her feet. Denise turned, aimed at her again. But Ezra was faster. He fired. Denise's gun flew from her hand. She grabbed a knife from her boot. You're making this harder than it needs to be, Denise said, breathing hard. Good, Ezra replied. They circled each other. Denise lunged. Ezra blocked. She slashed. He dodged. The knife caught his arm. Blood welled. He didn't flinch. Cross took the shot. Denise dropped. The knife clattered away. Blood spread across her expensive coat. Bertie ran to Mateo. He was alive. Bleeding but alive. Levi helped him up. Hound checked Denise. She was still breathing. Barely. Call an ambulance, Hound said. Why? Mateo asked through gritted teeth. Let her bleed out. Because we're not like her. Reeves arrived with backup. FBI agents swarmed the property. They found records inside. More files, more evidence, enough to bury everyone connected to Denise's operation. Denise was cuffed, loaded into an ambulance. She looked at Bertie as they wheeled her past. You think you've won, she whispered, but you've just painted a target on your back. Someone else will come. They always do. Bertie leaned close. Let them. I'm done running. Denise's eyes widened. Then the ambulance doors closed. 2 weeks later, Bertie sat in a courtroom. Emma and Sophie beside her, Cross on her left, Ezra on her right. She testified for 6 hours, told the whole story, every detail, every crime, every name. Warren got 25 years. Dennis got 30. Holbrook got 15. Denise, once she recovered, would face trial for murder fraud, conspiracy, and a dozen other charges. The FBI estimated she'd never see freedom again. After the trial, Bertie walked out of the courthouse. The sun was setting. Emma held her hand. Sophie held the other. Ezra waited by his bike. Where will you go? He asked. I don't know yet. Somewhere quiet, somewhere normal. Normal's overrated. Maybe, but I'd like to try it. Ezra nodded, handed her an envelope. From the club. It's not much, but it'll get you started. Bertie opened it. Ish, enough for an apartment, furniture, maybe even a car. I can't take this. You already did. Consider it a Christmas gift. Late, but still. Bertie's eyes burned. She hugged him. He hugged back, careful and awkward, like he'd forgotten how. Thank you, she whispered, for everything. You did the hard part. You survived. We survived. Ezra smiled. Yeah, we did. He got on his bike, rode away. The engine's rumble faded into the distance. Bertie stood there, holding her daughters, watching the sky turn orange and pink. Mama, Emma said, are we safe now? Bertie looked down, at Emma's hopeful face, at Sophie's tired eyes, at the courthouse behind them and the road ahead. Yeah, baby, she said. We're safe. And for the first time in months, she believed it. They walked to the bus stop, bought tickets to somewhere far away, somewhere no one knew their story, somewhere they could start over. The bus pulled up, they climbed aboard, found seats in the back. Sophie fell asleep against Bertie's shoulder. Emma stared out the window, watching the world blur past. Mama, Emma asked. Yeah. Do you think we'll ever see Ezra again? Maybe someday. I hope so. I liked him. Me too. The bus rolled on. The city lights faded. Darkness took over, then dawn. A new day, a new beginning. Bertie closed her eyes. For the first time since that Christmas Eve in the diner, she felt something she'd almost forgotten. Peace, not because the danger was gone, not because the world was suddenly safe, but because she'd stopped running. She'd stood her ground. She'd fought back. And she'd won. Emma and Sophie were alive. They were together. They were free. And no one, not Warren, not Dennis, not Denise, not anyone could take that away from them ever again.